My universal body is my temple. I dwell within my temple. Behold thou my kingdom of rest, which centereth my temple, within which I dwell. My body manifesteth me, even though it is not me. My body is beautiful and perfect, for my rhythmic, balanced thinking in all its seeming parts is rhythmic, balanced, perfect. Man's body is man's temple. Within man's body, the light of his spirit self dwelleth as one with me. Man's body is beautiful and perfect when the interchanging rhythms of man's thinking are balanced in the equilibrium of my beauty and my perfection. My kingdom of rest centereth man's temple when man dwelleth with me in my kingdom. Seek ye all men my kingdom. To him who findeth me, all knowing, all power, and all presence shall be added unto him. When man knoweth the light of me in him, naught can upset the balanced rhythms of my thinking in him, which maketh the temple of his body to be beautiful and perfect. As man buildeth his temples of worship from stones of earth, even so he buildeth the temple of his body from clay of earth. Man knoweth that the spirit of his temples is not in its stones, yet he knoweth not that his spirit self is not in his clayed image, from which he manifests the self of him. Wherefore I say to awakening cosmic man, whose knowing is my knowing, and whose thinking and imagining are my thinking and my imagining, thou shalt henceforth build thy temples in the light of my knowing, and thy knowing as one, and they shall be beautiful and perfect, as I am beautiful and perfect. For I say to unfolding cosmic man, you must be reborn in the beauty of my knowing. With each incoming breath, you must be reborn in beauty and perfection. And thy creations will be beautiful and perfect, for their rhythms will be my rhythms, manifested through thee. Their balance my balance. When my ecstasy is in them as thine and mine, thy creations will endure as long as my creations endure. With each pulse beat of thy heart ye must be reborn with the love of my knowing, and thine actions shall manifest my love in thy dealings with thy neighbor, and peace shall be in them, for thy dealings will be beautiful in their perfection of rhythm in all of their loving interchange. Again I say unto all men, that thy dealings with thy neighbor are with the whole world of men, for what you do to one, you do to all. Mark ye well these my words, for all mankind is one. The hurt of any one is the hurt of all. It lowereth all mankind. Likewise the good of any man is the good of all. It uplifteth all mankind. He who manifesteth the beauty of my thinking, in the orderliness of universal law, expressed in my unfoldings and refoldings, in my givings and regivings, and in the rhythms of balance in me, is already in my house. The doors of my kingdom are opened unto him for my anointing. Verily he shall know no limitations, which are not my limitations, and he shall know all things. These commandings of my Father Mother have I translated true for man while in the light upon the mountain top. The Book of Healing, a Communion. Behold the light which shineth out of the darkness. The glory of thy anointing light is upon me. I am in the Spirit. Thy light is all about me. It encompasses me. It shineth through me. I am dissolved in thy light. Thy light is my light. I am immersed in my light. Dimensionless I am, and I am as unconditioned as thou thyself art, dimensionless and unconditioned. Thou, my Father, Mother, art the light of the world. There is but thee, the one light. Therefore, I am thy Son of light, being one with thee. I am the light of the world, bearing thy radiance to man. I am thy messenger of light, translating thy glory into words for man. When thou speakest through me, I myself speak through my oneness with thee. I need not to learn, for I know all things. When thy light and mine are intermingled, then is thy knowing my knowing, and thy thinking my thinking. When I am not body engaged in sense thinking, then I am wholly mind, thinking thy transcendent thinking. Thou thinkest thy knowing in light waves, and thy meaning is as clear to thy anointed one as the light of thy knowing behind its meaning is radiant to him. Thou art the source of force, which keeps all creation moving on thy balanced wheel of motion. Yet thou art not the wheel, nor art thou motion. Thou art not the moving shaft, thou art the still center of the shaft, where no motion is, yet all motion is centered by thy stillness. Thou art the source of all creating things, yet thou art not the many things of thy creating. All creating things spring from thee as product of thy knowing, yet they are not thee, nor are they a part of thee. All creating things are conditioned by thy thinking, yet thou thyself art not conditioned. All creating things are forever changing, as thy thinking is forever changing, but thou thyself art never changing, nor is thy knowing from which thy thinking springeth ever changing. In the Spirit I stand before thee, the source of all creating things, awaiting thy commanding. I know thy purpose wholly. Thou hast flashed it to me clearly in its fullness. I sense it fully, even as I wholly sensed it when first I translated thy inviolate laws and principles for the unhearing ears and unseeing eyes of earth-bound man. To fully sense it in the light is sufficient for both my knowing and my ecstasy. But my knowing and my ecstasy will not alone bring light to man. Unfold thou again through me, part by part, sequentially, thy immortal plan, which thou hast writ in waves of dual light upon time's pages. I, whom thou hast freed from time, must bind myself to time for man. Let thy timeless essence be spread out in the orderliness of time, that I may build a structure for man's seeing, bit by bit, and piece by piece. Thou, of whom there are no parts, nor is there time, shalt make man to see the unity of thee through oneness of the many parts he sees in space and time. Lead me to unfold thy plan of creation for mankind's reasoning, in the manner of his reasoning. Let me again write down thy words. Guide thou my hand anew. Enfold thou me within thy inner gates, that I may not err in transcribing through my humanity. Words must I rewrite from wordless light. Guard thou my unity, my oneness, lest I again write my words, not words of thine. Diagrams must I set down in form from formlessness, for without form they are to man as though they were not. Make me master of the art in which I am so weak and must be strong. Pictures of thy imagining must I paint in man's pigment, for the light of thy knowing must be translated to him in words for which his sense-seeing hath a meaning. Enhance thou my skill in thus translating the colors of thy light waves of thinking with colors made of earth. To thus translate the glory of thy spectrum with earthly pigment is like unto kindling fires of genius in dead eyes. So guide thou thee in me when thou commandest me. Here, therefore, I take my stand upon thy mountain top, to translate for man thy simple plan that my spirit seeth in light, to the sense-seeing of man's eyes. Then must I set it down in form for earth-bound man, whom thou wouldest release from bindings through me, thy messenger of man to man. And keep thou me in the oneness of thy light until I have worthily given thy message to suffering man.